Okay. Round 2. Let's try that again. Okay. We're back. Let's try this again. Let's put a good 40 minutes together. Kirsten says, day is well. Took the girls north to south along the St. Croix River here in Minnesota to see the changing leaves. Oh my goodness. How cold was it? That's the first thing that pops into my head. Yeah, how cold was it? Ravel says, looks like you haven't aged at all over the last few years. Remarkable. You think? I'll take it. I'll take it. I certainly feel older, and I definitely am older. But it's nice of you to say thank you. I promise you one thing. I look a lot older. I looked rather a lot older a month ago. A lot older a month ago. So I'm like 35 days sober, and I'm really grateful for that. But I took a picture of myself on my first day of sobriety, and let's just say I looked a lot older. That is a man who's really beat up right there. Chad Allen says, what up, homie G Fizzle? How's life as a business owner treating you? Life as a business owner is finally treating me okay. Good to see you, by the way. But life as a error, you need to change the video resolution, the current resolution. This configuration. What the hell? All right, I'll have to fix this next time. Getting a little alert that says it's a poor connection. Ah, I see. 2.5. Sorry, guys, if you can hear me. I'll just keep going. We'll do this for next one. Best video resolution. Okay. Chad, sorry. My guy. It's good to see you. The business is going well because I've turned over my business to my mentor to sort of take over and run as an interim CEO, and he's going to show me how to be a thoughtful, productive business owner. I really don't know. I haven't really known what I've been doing. I've been faking it to the best of my ability, and it's been a poor fake. So it feels good because I'm getting help. Oh, Kirsten says, not cold at all. A cool 55. That's amazing. I love the changing leaves. I'm glad it felt good. RG says, no, I hope you're doing well, man. Your last upload was really powerful stuff. I'd like to think you've helped a lot more people than you realize. Keep up the honest talks, bud, and wish you the best. RG, I appreciate you saying that. I believe you. I've had enough people give me that feedback. That lets me know that if I can be honest, and I know that I'm being honest, which I am for today, and I was in that video, then I have the potential to have a positive impact on other people, and it has a positive impact for me as well. So thank you for that. It's good to be on this end of honesty after a long time of having a rough go at that. Abdur Rahman says, hey bro, are you a little gay? Probably. Aren't we all just a little gay? No, I identify as a heterosexual male, but I can find men to be attractive, I guess. XYZ Media and Entertainment says 35 days is pretty good. Yeah, dude. Or lady, dude. It's really, really good for this guy. Really, really good for this guy. Ethan Michael says, hello. Hope you and everyone here is doing well today. Sending so much warmth and positivity. Warmth and positivity received, Ethan. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Marina Kiel says, what you doing now that you aren't tailing your dad? I think you're just asking if there's something I'm doing now that I'm not telling my dad, and I don't think that question applies for today. No secrets going on right now. XYZ Media and Entertainment, how is your sleep schedule like? For me, anything less than 8 hours and I feel like crap. I'm in a space right now where my sleep was so bad in my active addiction. For those of you that perhaps don't know, I've struggled mightily with addiction for a long time, on and off, on and off, on and off, as far as being on the wagon, off the wagon. It's been a couple of years very much off the wagon, and the last 6 months of the last couple of years off the wagon have been extra off the wagon as far as just destructive behavior, binge drinking nightly, lying, emotional pain, physical pain, all bad parts of addiction. I was just knee deep in it, and I'm 35 days sober today, which is a miracle. So my sleep schedule, I say that to mean that my sleep schedule as an active drunk was so bad that I didn't really perceive myself to be even remotely rested for, a couple of years. So my sleep schedule now is better. And I'm lucky enough to where I can stay in bed if I need to and get extra sleep. But I guess I'm getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. And it's slightly interrupted because of urinary frequency based on poor habits with drinking too much water, but my sleep's good, I guess. It all seems good. That's what I'm trying to say. It all just seems so good. Relative. Chad Allen says, I'm a little gay, yay, right? Everyone's a little gay. Or very gay. Or who knows? Who cares? Everyone's a little bit of everything, I think. Devin says, how did you manage calories when you were drinking? I managed calories by not eating. It was like my great trick. I managed calories by not eating. Often enough, I would fast the entire day, and then I would binge drink on an empty stomach from, let's say, 7:30 to 10, and then I would eat. That would happen fairly often, and it allowed me to maintain a pretty low body fat whilst abusing myself with alcohol. Don't recommend it. Certainly not healthy, but it's what I did. XYZ Media says, I think having sleep down is crucial for good mental health and sobriety. You're not wrong. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. And I've missed sleep so much. I'm so grateful that I can actually get some real rest. That's for sure. Abdur Rahman says, have you been with a dude before? I have not been with a dude before. I experimented when I was younger, but I chalked that up to just normal adolescent sexual exploration. No penetration, but definitely some exploring my sexuality when I was a kid. Yepper Pepper says, hey Noah, I'm wondering what's your thoughts on intermittent fasting? I don't right now, but I do CrossFit in mornings. I was wondering, to get really lean, should I start intermittent fasting? Thanks. Look, I think intermittent fasting is an incredible tool. For example, I ate today at 3. It was my first meal, and typically my first meal is around 3 o'clock. I usually eat 2 meals between 3:30 and let's say 10. Occasionally I'll go OMAD, 1 meal a day, and then occasionally if my body and my mind is telling me I need it, then I'll eat more. But I do think everyone should learn about fasting and see if it might be a good fit for you. I believe in it wholeheartedly, and it's a very, very effective way to restore and detox yourself on a cellular level, but also just to mitigate overeating and weight gain and things like that. I was not able to get relatively lean ever until I learned how to intermittent fast, and now I'm pretty lean. So look into it, see if it might work for you. Be mindful though that if you are someone who's really overweight or has really high blood sugar, you'll need to very slowly get into it and address that, or you'll have some feelings of hypoglycemia. Chad Allen, does your mom count? I don't even remember what the setup for that joke was, but I'm sure it was perfect. Fish Patty says, I definitely relate to your story. I'm newly sober myself, one day at a time. Hang in there, one day at a time for sure. That's never been more meaningful to me than this time around getting sober. You hear it forever. I've heard it since I was 19 in my first AA meeting. All we have is today, one day at a time. And I kind of thought it sounded cheesy or something, but I don't anymore, because it took me like a month to barely get a day, and getting 2 days seemed impossible, and the first week seemed impossible. And it can all slip away very fast. So one day at a time for sure. Hang in there. I heard something really good from my sponsor. He said that we can't stay sober off of, time isn't a tool. Sober time isn't a tool. You can't stay sober off of yesterday's recovery sort of mindset. It's working for me for today. Queen E says, give it to Jesus Christ. He will fight all your battles. Amen. Thank you, Queen E. RG says, do you have an opinion on Andrew Tate at all, or no comment? I understand he's become a polarized figure. I don't know anything about Andrew Tate. I've never seen anything from him. I've never listened to him speak outside of maybe a soundbite for a few seconds on like a reel or a short or something years ago. So I have no opinion because I just don't know anything about the guy. I know he's famous and he's controversial, I guess. I've been under a rock on that one. Happily so, I've decided. Marina says, I'm asking what you doing now that your dad retired. Oh, I see. You're not the cameraman as much. I mean, honestly, that's such a strange question. For the last couple of years, I've just been in active addiction, and so living off of instincts and fear and pursuing self-seeking and being very self-absorbed. So all my behaviors and actions and intentions and motivations have been skewed and weird, and I'm trying to come to terms with it. So right now I'm just reassessing. I'm trying to reassess what I want to do, how I want to use that bigger platform and this one for something thoughtful and meaningful and good. So I have a gym. I'm learning how to do that. Staying sober is my number one priority. It's priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all my priorities. It's just that one first, but I'm kind of reassessing what I want to do with everything else in my life. Thank you for the clarification. Devin says, that's rough drinking on an empty stomach. Yeah, it'll get you messed up fast though, and that's what I was looking for. XYZ Media and Entertainment says, were you always good at fasting? That shows you definitely have more self-control than a lot of people. No, I don't think I was always good at fasting. It took me a while to get used to it. I was someone back in the day who would wake up and eat within 10, 20 minutes of getting up. And I suppose I was conditioned to think that was a really good way to go for me. Since childhood, I didn't want to lose muscle and I didn't want my body to waste away, so I thought I had to eat all the time. So I bring that up to say that in the beginning, my eating window had to be 16 hours, which is essentially a very normal eating window. And then 14 hours, did that for a couple of weeks. And then 12-hour eating windows, did that for a couple of weeks. 10-hour eating windows, did that for a couple of weeks. It took me, I'd say, 3 or 4 months to get used to fasting because my body was so conditioned to eat all the time. It's what I've done since I was a kid. And I've been socially informed. There's another word I'm looking for, but it escapes me. But conditioned. I've been conditioned to that you had to wake up and eat right away, like most of us have. So it was very novel to consider the idea that breakfast, if you broke it up into its potential true meaning, is just to break a fast. And for me now, breaking my fast tends to make sense around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And I love it. But it took me some time to get used to, and there's a lot of hormonal reasons for that, but that's for another time. Robbie Reese says, I'm 20 plus years, 100% zero booze. Good for you. I remember my first days felt like a long time, Noah. Best decision of my life. I'm 57 next month. I prayed a lot to get clean, and I'm not religious. What an incredibly powerful message, Robbie. Thank you for sharing that. What I just related to was you saying, I prayed a lot to get clean, and I'm not religious. I stumbled into this chance, this gift at being sober again, so beat up and so scared and so overwhelmed and so sad that I was willing to do anything because I was so overwhelmed and I felt so lost. And so praying was just an action that I was suggested to do. And so I did it, and I didn't really care to whom I was praying or why I was praying. They said pray, so I prayed, and I've stayed sober for more time than I thought possible again. So I really relate to that. Thank you for sharing. Purple Nurple says, once I fully realized my alcoholism, drinking seems very absurd. The fun isn't the same, just dark escapism. Sobriety isn't always fun or easy, but I never regret staying sober. I relate to that. I haven't had fun in my drinking for a very long time, and the pain and discomfort from it, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it was unbearable. I just couldn't go on. And I've got to that breaking point a lot. Right now I'm just trying to stay. XY Media says, what are your thoughts on porn nowadays? For me, I don't want anything to do with it nowadays. In my addiction, I was watching porn a lot, looking for pleasure, looking for relief, looking to feel good because I felt so shitty between drinks. In my sober space for today, I truly want nothing to do with anything like that. I think it's bad for my soul. I don't think it's good for my recovery. I don't think it's good for my marriage. But I'm not holier than thou, and I don't judge whatever other people want to do, and I don't pretend to know what is best for others. I just think it's vexing for me, and I'm associating it with drinking very, very closely. So I certainly would never proclaim that I'll never look at porn again, but I haven't since getting sober, and that part hasn't been hard. I don't think it's good for me. Yeah, I don't think that shit's good for me. Devin, have you ever thought of inspirational public speaking as a career choice? You seem to have a knack for it. I've thought about it, Devin, but I don't know if I've thought about it for the right reasons. Like, I think I've thought about it perhaps in the spirit of being admired, as opposed to the anchor of that act being for the betterment of others. I'd be open to it if it came about for the right reasons. That's for sure. I like speaking, but I think I've been spouting on and off. I don't want to wash my whole history with, pure negativity, but I think I've spouted a lot of things for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. Robert Jenkins says, hey, buddy, hope you're doing well. Simple question. What is the best way to go about starting to exercise again? 4 years, retired, dealt nothing but depression and eating, literally a couch potato. Robert, I would say to you that the best thing you could possibly do to start that ball rolling is to simply start the ball rolling. So one of the ways that I think that can be achieved is to lower the barrier of entry, which means going for a walk to your mailbox, for example, and coming back. That could be your exercise for the day. So that sort of mindset, for one, is healthy. Make walking exercise and go from there. 2, if you have the means, admit you could use some support and help, which many of us could, and go get that support and help, be it a CrossFit gym, a group fitness class, a personal trainer, but someone that can help you and can support you. I could talk about this all day, but just keep it moving. Nathan McGuffin says, I've been watching your sobriety content for several years now, and during some extremely dark points in my addiction. I'll soon be 6 months sober. Keep it up, man. We do recover. That's so beautiful. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, don't we? Good job. Chad Allen says, so how stoked were you when Strickland beat Izzy? Dude, I was insanely stoked. What a strange time we're living in mixed martial arts. I don't even know that I'm a huge Strickland fan, but I'm a fan of the underdog. That is really cool. Alex says, I'm happy you are currently sober. Noah, praying for you. By the way, how you do you speak so eloquently? Is that like a skill you developed over the years? I think so, Alex. Thank you for the kind words. I think I naturally have some baseline gift of gab, but I also think I have cultivated it and honed it in a couple ways. One, I've been recording myself online for a very, very long time, which has lent itself well to just being comfortable talking in front of people or to people when I know there's other people listening. 2, I have been an older brother my whole life, so I'm always talking to my siblings. 3, I happen to coach CrossFit and own a CrossFit gym at this time, so I'm in front of groups and I'm used to talking. So I'd say it's a combo of some natural ability mixed with, some skills that I've learned over time. XY Media says, you have the chillest stream on YouTube. Chillisy? I'm assuming you meant chillest. I hope that was chillest. That would make me feel great. Chad Allen, I started purchasing storage units. Oh, and thank you, by the way, to auction and selling stuff. I think you told me that, Chad, on Facebook, Marketplace, and eBay. Gets me out of the house. Not a whole lot of money, but it's fun, like a treasure hunt, and I like it. I wish I could just go with you and see how that all happens. I don't know anything about that, but it seems really cool. Yepper Pepper says, thanks. So you can work out hard, do intense exercise, and CrossFit fasted? Absolutely. Absolutely. So CrossFit, all exercise to varying degree, but especially like a functional fitness, interval training, CrossFit style training, it's a glycolytic output, which just means to work out like that, it uses sugar and carbs, for lack of better words. All of our bodies, livers, your muscle tissues, we hold energy, glycogen, carbs in enough excess to get us through an hour of intense exercise. No problem. No problem. So you don't have to eat food before a workout to have a really, really good workout. Jay Horenstein says, off topic, but how are your wonderful parents doing? They are individually doing pretty well, I'd say. I'd say they're doing pretty well. They have very busy, full lives. Thank you for asking. Blue Cool 789. Oh, dude, you've been around for a long time. Good to see you. Are you still very much into CrossFit, TRT, and all of these stuff? How's the family? Yes, I've never lost my interest and my love for CrossFit. I train CrossFit every day, essentially. I work out with my same group of people. I believe in the methodology. I coach it. I love it. It's a passion. It's part of who I am. I can't imagine a life where I didn't have that in it. I'm still on TRT. I've been on essentially the same dose of testosterone replacement therapy for 10, 11 years. And I'm thankful. I'm really grateful that that's there to support my mental and physical health. And the family's healing. The family, like many families, went through a lot in from 2019 to now. But I'd say overall that the family's in a good place, and I hope yours is too. And it's good to see your name on here. That's for sure. Yepper Pepper says, I'm really soaking in your wisdom. Thanks. How do you handle fears in your life? Things that you are avoiding because you're scared. For me, it's career stuff and job interviews and public speaking. Well, I will speak for today's version of me. And I suppose I can make a comment on me just a handful of weeks ago when I was still in my addiction. But today I handle fears by talking about my fears. I handle fears by not pretending I don't have them. I handle fears by acknowledging my fears. And I have a great many fears. One of my fears is that I will relapse again. And I'll go right back to being an active drinker, lost in the chaos of addiction, which really, really, really has broken my heart and my soul this last couple of years. It's a major fear because it's something that continuously happens to me. So trying to push forward and be willing to try and contend with that fear, I think requires a lot of bravery, and I'm proud of myself for that, but it's there. I'm afraid of what other people think of me, and I'm trying really hard to not let that stifle me or paralyze me from moving forward. I'm afraid of a lot of things, but what helps me is just to be open and honest and gentle with myself about those fears, and to remember that everyone has fears. And if you say you're not afraid of anything, I don't think you're being honest. And if you're not honest, I don't think I can trust you. And as someone who has been untrustworthy, I know what that looks like. So yeah, career stuff, absolutely. I have fears around that. I suggest just talking about it. Journal about it. I do a lot of journaling too. Revel says, I was thinking earlier today about fasting just to give my digestive system some rest because my eating habits have been quite awry of late. I love that word. Might continue fasting for at least once a week. That's awesome. Yeah, learn about it. There's a great book called Eat, Stop, Eat by, who's that by? Brad Pylon, I think. There's The Ultimate Guide to Fasting by Dr. Fung. I'm such a fasting, thumper. I'm a fasting Bible thumper. I just love fasting so much. I think it's so cool. Well beyond the fact that it can make it more attainable for people to lose weight. But I think food is better when you're fasting. I think it's better for your body. Preach. I'm just going to preach. Where was I? Forgive me. Oh, Devin says, I struggled a lot with alcohol 5 years ago when I worked at a bar. I bet. Can't imagine what I would have done in my addiction working. Well, I kind of worked at a... Never mind. Since I left, I try to stick to once a week, but it still doesn't sit right inside of me, if that makes sense. Your vids helped a lot. Why doesn't it sit right inside of you, Devin? I'm just curious to know what's going on there. What about it doesn't sit right? Lou Kane says, are you doing 1 shot per week or 2? I break up my testosterone replacement therapy into 2 shots of point... Oh my gosh, what is it? 0.4 mLs is typically what I do, right? Yeah, 0.4 mLs twice a week. Singing, dancing, muscle man says, what up, no? How's it hanging? Shriveled and to the left. It's hanging good, man. I'm feeling good. A world's better today than I was 6 weeks ago. How is it hanging for you? How are you? Chad Allen says, have you thought about trying to move to a dry county or somewhere where they don't serve it? And it would take an extraordinary amount of effort in order for you to be able to have access to it. I've never thought of doing that. And I think the reason, my first reaction to that question, or that interesting question, Chad, is that, look, as an alcoholic, I believe that if I want alcohol, I will go get alcohol. I don't think moving to a dry county is going to change the fact that if I want to participate in life as I know it in this modern world, then I'm going to have to accept the fact that it's going to be one of those things that's around. Could I maroon myself in some location of the world where there would be no access? Sure. But I couldn't maroon my brain from wandering if I want to wander. I think what I'm trying to do is find stillness and find peace amidst the chaos. I'm trying to, what they say in recovery programs is to build up my spiritual fitness so that on a day-by-day, case-by-case basis, I can move about the world without temptation. That being said, I am new, and I've taken a number of precautions to ensure my recovery, my early sobriety, such as turning over my car keys, such as giving up my wallet, my phone for 2 or 3 weeks. I understand the chaos and insanity, so I'm not saying it's not a bad idea, but I just don't think that's going to be a long-term solution. I've never even considered that. That's a wild thing to say. You're wild, bro. Blue Cool says, hi, Noah. Thank you for remembering me. Hope it is for good reasons, of course. All good reasons. Yepper Pepper says, thanks, dude. You're an incredible person. Thank you. Thank you. That's nice for you to say. I like you too. Alex says, I know you mentioned not being religious. Have you ever considered learning about Jesus or Christianity? I don't know that I said I wasn't religious per se. I'm exploring all of it. Spirituality. I'm exploring religion. I'm exploring God in general. I'm open to all of it. Devin says, I'd say just the fact I haven't went more than a week without a drink for years. I would love to try to be sober for my health, mainly my weight. Maybe you're sober curious. I was working with a guy recently. I'm still working with him, but I'm working with a guy on his nutrition. And one of the things we identified was that he drinks often, not necessarily a lot, but he drinks often and he looks forward to drinking, and he's potentially grumpy when he doesn't drink. And we realized together that he hadn't gone more than 6 days, I think we wound up finding out, without drinking since he was 21 years old, and he's in his mid-40s, and he was really surprised by that. So I think it's more the awareness. Now, here's what I would say, Devin. I challenge you to go, I don't know, a month. Do 30 days sober. Write down why you think it's important to you. Check it out. And I would pay more attention to your emotional state than anything. And just learn. There's a book called Sober Curious. Maybe that's a good one, too. There's this person. I suppose it could be related, but I don't know. There's this person in a recovery meeting who decided that she was an alcoholic in a very interesting way. She only drank once a week, and if I'm not mistaken, she only drank a few drinks per once a week. However, her life was very unmanageable, and she obsessed over when she would be able to drink the entire week. She was restless, irritable, and discontent, and she only seemed to have peace for just a brief moment when she would drink, and then she would put so much effort into controlling it, she'd be miserable anyway. And she concluded that since she couldn't go more than a week without drinking, and since when she wasn't drinking, all she could do was plan and think about that next drink. And then when she would drink, it was never enough to satisfy her that she was an alcoholic. And she jumped into recovery, and she's like one of the happiest people I know. Take that for what you will, or for what it's worth, but yeah. Okay. Where was I? Blue Cool says, can I please ask for a body update? Your fitness pics and vids were my inspiration to work out, and I did lose a good amount of weight through that. What do I think about a body update? How about this? I don't think I feel comfortable because it wasn't something that I advertised in this video, lifting up my shirt and making it about that. But I think a video titled My Physique Update on TRT would be an appropriate time and place to do that. And I think I'd be happy to those curious about how my body looks on TRT or with my current fitness level. I get it. There are people I follow who I'm inspired by their physiques and their fitness. I'll do it then, but I don't think I should do it now. Something about it I don't think would be good. But thank you for the request, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. Robbie Reese says, occasionally I dream I've relapsed and I feel like a failure. Dude, I literally dream about drinking every single night right now. Every single night I am drunk. I'm getting drunk or drinking or trying not to drink in every one of my dreams. It's wild. It's a wild, wild phenomena that I believe a lot of people experience. Thank you for the update, Blue Cools. I got to remember some people are, and that content matters, and I appreciate you saying you enjoy it. And feel like a failure. The fear helps keep me on guard against complacency. I also became and am very reclusive. Do you get lonely, Robbie? I appreciate your honesty. Devin says, I also drink quite a lot that one day a week. How much, Devin? Give us the truth. My typical Saturdays was like 14 to 16 standard drinks in the evening. Weekdays 12 to 14. Occasionally more, occasionally less. Singing Fancy Muscle Man says, shriveled, ha. As for me, comfortably resting in the hammock of my compression shorts. Got done training and I'm getting some chow while I listen. That's awesome. You're funny. Business Central TV says, Kava as a replacement or naltrexone and the Sinclair method. Can you have Claudia's Christian TED Talk? Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Chris! Blue Cool says, thanks, Noah. I'm here for the TRD. Yeah. Chris Pavlos. Sup, Noah? Sup, King? How's your weekend going, Chris? Chris is a very, very kind man, I know. Works out a lot. Works out hard. Lou Kane says, sheesh, that's a lot. Tell me about it. Robbie Reese says, not lonely. Me and my Shih Tzu are cool. The love of a dog goes a long way. Marina Kiel says, I think maybe the fact that you were in your addiction these last 2 years or so is maybe related to the fact that you feel like you emotionally laid off due to your dad's retirement and are no longer with Kim. It's a fair assessment. There's some truth to that. Business Central's just sharing some thoughts about recovery or addiction treatment methods. XYZ Media and Entertainment. Hey, Noah, you ever tried the carnivore diet? Not exclusively, but I'm kind of like an animal-based-ish diet, but I still like whole food, and I like pizza. But no, I've not exclusively tried it. It wouldn't lend well to the training I like doing, but I'm not against it. I think it might feel great mentally. Who knows? Luke Kane says, I normally have 3 glasses of wine once a week and occasionally 2 to 3 margaritas. I'm like, wow, nice. Yeah, that would be my dream scenario. I think I could pull that off. Never. Devin says anywhere from 5 drinks to as many as 20 if it's a special weekend, holidays and such. Sundays are definitely rough the majority of weekends. I feel you, man. The get drunk on Saturday culture is real. I get it. No shame in that. I know a lot of people that I don't think have problems with alcohol, but they do tend to get really messed up on the weekends. Chris Pavla says, it's going okay. Trying to figure out how to replace the belts on a car and saw you streaming. Figured I would say hi. Talking about some man stuff, baby. I'm glad you said hi. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're a resourceful guy. I'm the type that I would just go like ask someone who knows, or like go find a neighbor, be like, how do you do this? Alex says, would CrossFit be suitable for someone with disc herniations in the lumbar? Have you run into people at your gym with any prior injuries? Yes, I think CrossFit is suitable for everyone, for just about everyone, for just about every scenario, because it is modifiable. At my gym, at least, everyone can modify intensity, movements, style of movements, range of motion, load, capacity, volume, all of that. Motion is lotion. I have injuries. Everyone I know has injuries. Some people very serious injuries, hip replacements, knee replacements, herniated discs. There are safe ways to move, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be afraid just because of that. Ethan Michael says, I've been really liking reading all the posts in the Reddit community. Stop drinking. Seems like a positive community. I like that community too. 100% seems like a positive community. This poor guy. For anyone that's been joining in a little bit later in this live stream, like 36 minutes in, this was a picture of me on my first day sober this time around. I was hungover, I was miserable, and I was really sad. Okay, we're caught up on questions. I'm gonna check out of here. I'm headed to a 12-step meeting at 6. It's certainly where I want to be and where I belong this evening. I just wanted to say hi and check in with you guys. I thought this would make me feel good, and I hope something I did or said rather made your day even a little bit better. That would make me feel good. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Dee. I appreciate you guys checking in and spending time with me. I really do. Your time is valuable. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you whenever I post again. And thanks for supporting me. All right, guys. Take care.